In this video, I want to talk about lightweight benefits for performance. Now, when I use the term lightweight, I'm not referring to a guy who weighs 100 pounds or 155. No, I'm talking about going from a rather heavy body weight to a leaner body weight. So if you weigh 250 pounds and now you're down to 180, well, that's a huge drop in weight loss. So when I use the term lightweight, understand that I'm talking about any amount of weight drop, It could be going from 20% body fat to 15% or 15 to 10. Just a vague general term. So that said, let's talk about these performance, not aesthetic benefits. So the first thing you will absolutely notice 100% is greater agility. And when I use the term agility, I'm mainly talking about movement. You can move better. Literally every step that you take, you feel like a goddamn feather. You ever worn ankle weights before? 10, 20 pound ankle weights. And you're walking with them all day and then you take them off. That's exactly what it feels like when you lose a lot of weight. And what does this imply? Well, you can be lighter on your feet. So when you do jogging activities, less stress on the knees, obviously, better recovery. You can actually go a little bit faster. It's pound for pound. Think about that. That's why you don't see too many fat marathon runners. So you can be lighter on your feet. Your footwork's going to be very good. If you're a combat athlete, very, very good. You will notice an extreme improvement, much faster, much more explosive as well. When you throw punches, you'll be able to use your waist, your hips more. Your punches are going to be faster, more explosive. It's just going to be better overall if you do lose a lot of weight that's not meant for your frame. You know what I'm saying? Faster punches, lighter on your feet, better footwork, better movement. Pretty much what you see in a lot of athletics. That's what you're going to notice when you drop a lot of weight. Another thing that you will notice is amazing pound for pound strength. If you're a calisthenics athlete in particular, wow, this is insane. Say you weigh 190 and you drop down to 160. Do you know how light you're going to feel on the bar? When you do front levers, for example, it's going to be a joke. Like when I lost a lot of weight, guys, the front lever became easy all of a sudden. I didn't even have to train the movement. Actually, I haven't been training at all, but now I could do it. I could do it because I lost weight. Same thing for one arm chin. If you weigh 190, you drop to 160, you can do one arm chins all of a sudden if you're already strong, So it makes these moves way easier, and that's why gymnasts, you're not going to see a fat gymnast or a fluffy gymnast. You got to dial in that pound for pound strength. So for bodyweight movements, everything becomes easier. You just have superior leverages, especially if you lost muscle in certain areas due to your cut. A lot of guys, when they cut, they drop body weight off their legs, and the legs can weigh you down when you do certain moves. So for calisthenics, gymnastics, I'm telling you, you will see an exponential increase in strength. Like it'll blow your mind how much lighter you feel when you're hanging off a bar, if you're doing push-ups, if you're doing dips. Like people say that you're going to lose strength when you cut, and that's absolutely true when we talk about most presses, lifting weights that is. But for calisthenics, your performance is going to go way up, way, way up without even having to train hard because of the leverages. And that's another thing too. Moving beyond calisthenics, you might have better pound for pound strength, period. Because we're talking about pound for pound strength, not absolute strength, right? So if you're 160 pounds and you do a double body weight bench, well, that's only 320. See what I'm saying? If you're a bit heavier, 320 would not be a double body weight bench. So from a competitive standpoint, you can probably do better. If it wasn't a lot of fat weight. I keep getting interrupted in here, man. There's fucking construction going on. I have the cat with the litter. Fuck, I'm sorry about this, guys. Sorry. That's why I'm cutting so many times in this video. All right. What I was saying is this. What I was saying is this. Your pound for pound strength could... What I was saying is that your pound for pound strength will be superior if you were carrying extra body weight. I know Johnny Candido made the transition many years ago in powerlifting. He was a 181. He transitioned to 165, or 163 is the IPF, I believe. So if you're a competitive powerlifter and you have all that extra weight, you might be a bit more competitive if you drop a weight class. A lot of fighters are notorious for doing this. Actually, some fighters go up a weight class, others go down a weight class. So you got to figure out, do you need that extra weight on you? Do you actually need it to be competitive? Would you be better if you dropped a little bit of weight? And in a lot of sports, particularly the fighting sports, very beneficial when you start losing that weight. Because, for example, let's say you're 5'2" and you're 190 pounds and you're fighting these big guys, right? You're gonna have a huge disadvantage because of reach. You know, you're not meant to be that heavy at that body weight. So if you cut down to, say, a lightweight or something, well, now you're gonna be with people who are most likely closer to your height. So it just makes more sense from a competition standpoint. You can be more competitive if you're closer to a body weight that just makes more sense for your build, you know? And then the final benefit, which is very, very apparent, is that your breathing will increase like crazy. Like you won't run out of breath when you're talking, which is very common among fat people, all right? You hear them talk, and they're like, they're deep breathing because they got so much weight. You know, you don't think that being fat has an effect on your body? It affects your lungs. It absolutely does. It affects your conditioning, all these things, you know? And sure, you could be a fit fat guy, but when you're a leaner body weight, it's going to be much better. So you're not going to be running out of breath when you talk. Your cardio is going to be much better when you do running outside. Conditioning-wise, it's always better to drop a little bit of that extra weight because it holds you back. Now, there are some exceptions like strongman, you know. Usually, because the weights are so heavy, you know, it's not going to be in your best interest to be Mr. Ultra Lean. But if you're doing a lot of jogging outside or even fight training, being a bit leaner can be quite beneficial in regards to performance. So you'll notice that. You'll notice that your breathing abilities are much better than they used to be. So that's quite good. But beyond that, those are pretty much the main performance benefits I could think of. You might also get better mobility in certain respects. A lot of guys, because they have all that fat on, they can't squat ass to grass. Well, usually when they drop that weight off, it becomes easier. So there's other benefits too. Instead of me rambling on more and more, I'd like to hear your feedback because I can make this video even longer, but I want to know from you, what are some performance benefits, okay? And while you're at it, throw in some cons. I'll give you a con right now. Absolute strength, not as good. If we talk about size, well, you're obviously going to look a lot small, you know? So absolute strength, size, depends what you're trying to go for. But overall, there will be some performance benefits, mainly with the calisthenics, pound for pound, better breathing, conditioning, stuff like that. So that's my take on it. If you become lighter, well, you'll see some performance benefits. So hope you enjoyed this video. Give me your feedback down below, and I'll talk to you all next time.